Hey there, joy to the world. Here to take an intuitive peek into the energy going on around you. Not quite sure why I'm being asked to do this, but we're going to jump right in. We have the tea leaf oracles coming out, and the first one is younger woman, dealings or relationship with a younger woman. Well, underneath it, the credit card hard as F times is coming in. Energy scooting out. It's kind of like the dust is being left behind you as these new energies are stepping in. They're making their way whether you like it or not. These are like plasma fishes coming in. It's a whole school of them making it your direction. Whether it's a bit of logic, it's a bit of illogicalness. There's some chaos and confusion coming as well, and that can be disturbing to your energy as well. Then we have this card coming in. It's coming in just like that. It says moving on up, progress and increase. In this case, that upward movement, your ascending is driving forward, moving forward, increasing your directional aim and progress. How do we do that? Well, beneath it we have the Seven of Swords. This Seven of Swords is about the universe coming to give you a hard smack on the back to thrust you forward onto that path. You've been trapped in some very dissipating energy. You've been locked in like this prison of confusion, doubt, worry, shame, that type of thing. And it's time to move on from this. And so I don't know if this is a person, a situation that has jumped on in to do this, but it's definitely taking me back to a read I did the other day about purpose, where the sharks are circling. And you've gotten so comfortable and familiar with an unnatural environment, like in that it's a human living underneath the waters with the sharks in the deep, deep waters. And the sharks have come to bump you and to thrust you and to move you forward. So this is kind of likening to that. It seems a little more gentle in that it could be a friend showing you some loving kindness. See that cup, the Ace of Cups back there? Life and its divinity is thrusting you forward. It's sent situations, people, places. They're telling me people, places, things, whatever it takes to get you to trust and move on. Interesting. Very Mars, very powerful. Get ready for development on this in the next few, I want to say days. They're saying weeks, they're saying hours. So it's already begun. Okay, time is ticking. So the next channel we have coming in is Pineapple Reconciliation. Now, pineapple is a symbol of hospitality. It is also known to be representative of Hawaii, correct? And it's about being uplifted, simple, simplified, easygoing, like beach hair, don't care, that type of thing. And in the energy of the earth rising up, like to greet you and to meet you in this. So it's not just you extending out hospitality, but it's hospitality being extended to you as well, which is beautiful because underneath it says two sides of every story. Wow, it is really focusing on this crack, this crevice, this meeting of the pages where it's coming together, which could seem torrid and terrible and that type of thing about being in between worlds. But it's not. It's saying where two worlds collide, where the worlds come together, where the new chapter, the new phase, the new page turns and begins. Underneath it, we have this coming in. And yes, it came in like this as opposed to this. This read, they said, take it exactly as we give it, and you're going to dish this out. So let me take a look for a minute. Re is the carve re. Any regeneration, restructuring, restoration, reconciliation, all of those type of re's, and that's something about returning, coming back, which is great flowing in under this, remember? Well, this says reconciliation, but it's about the energy you put out returning to come meet you. So that lets me know you've cleared up your channel and you've cleared up your flow. So this is kind of synonymous. The image here is making me think of you taking a rest, a relaxation more than it is a hardcore sleep. Is taking time to reflect, to sit back and to allow this to return to you. So it's more of an inactive action. We could say passive, but they said it's so not passive. It is choice based, and it is living in the presence of your mind to stay open, to remain submitted and surrendered to this energy and to this flow. To go with the flow takes conscious decision. Okay, so they're talking about you being very conscious about this. Whether that's all three layers of the conscious mind or whether it's the frontal lobe of really being open and receptive to what is being shown to you, what is being presented and sent your way, so that you can take note. Underneath it, now my decks do not do inversions, but I had a little hullabaloo in my home when I came home last night, and cards were scattered everywhere. And so this one deck, they said, we're going to talk to you through that deck and how it's been put back together. Do not mend it yet, because I always keep my card deck set up right, so that way any reading that comes out, it can come out fresh and new and not predisposed to the lingering or languishing, they're saying, languishing energy of the previous read. And so inversions or, these sideways, whatever, they're allowed to come in, however it is, in order to speak. I just don't keep the decks that way. So when they come in inverted like this, it is definitely already tapping a finger, pointing the finger, saying, take note of self. This is the Spirit of Cups. Look at this. So it's the message of the butterfly being sent to save you. The butterfly is your savior. That's wild. It's not about you transforming and becoming the butterfly. You've already transformed. You've surrendered. I mean, this is beyond hangman. This is total fetal position, surrender to whatever it is, and it's almost to the point of being defensive, like a protection type of defense mechanism, a response, like a trigger. When they test your reflexes, that's lots of re's, right? Response, reflex. This is a reflex on your part. Gotcha. You've been hurt. And that's why those are hard as F times, right? You have been hurt. Life has kicked you hard. That's why they're having to smack you on the back to move. You've gotten hardened into this state of being almost like relegated to it, that this was your existence and you don't know how else to be, because anything outside of that is earth-shattering. It's ground-shaking. It is an upheaval of sorts. And it's definitely got you stressed across here, because my vocal cords even sound funny to my own ear. Very interesting. But this surrender, this being rooted and grounded, and you have a shroud of spirits, like these specters are going around you, and I don't like it too much. This isn't a good thing. So many layers of nature, love, and help are being sent in to recover you, to rescue you. Especially butterfly spirit. And I always say butterflies don't travel with backpacks. Butterflies to me are the epitome of free. They go through so much that life can't be seen any other way. And they dine on the nectar of life. They go in taking this sweet abundance that is there for them, available for them. They don't make their own food. They don't even have homes, okay? Once they erupt from the old place, they surrender to what is now, moment by moment. Okay, butterfly spirit, welcome. So the next channel is shifting into... Okay, so that's more like the situation you're coming from. The pineapple really has to do with connecting your energy back to yourself, your ability to provide, your ability to have authority, to have choice. Definitely. And in comes this career card. You see the little mar from some of the stuff it got brambled up with. That's interesting. Yeah, you've had a setback in your career and your provision and your expectancy, your affirmations, and not so much verbal affirmations. These affirmations were more like rewards. It was that, you expect if you mix together a set of ingredients and the recipe says banana muffins, that banana muffins are going to come out of the oven correct, not like dog turds. Okay, so you kept getting things like that, and you were just literally pulling your hair out, scratching your head, totally not understanding what is going on. And then, some of you being taught by the spiritual community, oh, be thankful, be grateful. It's because your attitude's not right or you're saying things wrong. Sorry, let me clear that notification. But you know what? This isn't a practical, tangible, tactile, pinnacle type energy is what you're expressing here. So that would be like saying, oh, well, how dare you expect to have banana muffins when you mix up banana muffins? You should be open to receive whatever comes your way. That is distorted thinking. I mean, that's laughable. It's ridiculous. And that's been the difficulty as you began to self-doubt. You began to give away your own authority over your mind and the power of your mind because you couldn't understand how it was happening or what was going on because the spiritual climate that you're in, the environment that you're in, is people that have that type of an answer. And it's not even just the people. They've adapted to those ideologies and accepted it themselves because they couldn't understand what was going on. So it's almost by lack, just forgive the words here, let me just flow with them. By lack of responsibility on the collective part of our world, the short end of the stick is being handed down generation to generation. This just is an age-based generation because you can awaken at any age, right? So people are stepping forward into this randomness and they're being taught the secret and say these affirmations and do this and that. Well, let me speak up for those of us who have and who've been in that state and kept getting dog turd muffins. We didn't know what's going on. We can't understand. And maybe life kept feeding it to us going, reach out, stretch out, connect with us, talk to us, ask, find out what is going on. You know that there is more that we want you to know. So it has pressed me. Okay, well, that's the next card. It has pressed me into some intense spaces, some intense, I know this is a center, but it is a corner. Like this is the center at the top of your head. It's looking down like this. And it's, kind of like famous people when paparazzi fans, whoever press in around them and they're caught in the throngs and they're just being moved about and they can't really break free or move forward or make progress. Security bodyguards, other external forces have to come and try and break away the plaque of the people, the plaque of the pressure in order to drag and pull and thrust them through. Interesting. That's how it is. That corner that you've been backed into is something that is uncomfortable. It's like punishment. That's what you're telling me about the corner. It's like the whole place has been punishment. And you're saying intense. You're like, look at these waves of intensity. And that is more the scrutiny of your mind trying to examine and really just comb over yourself and scrutinize yourself to a level that you almost removed all worth of yourself, thinking, well, this must be wrong with me, and that must be wrong with me, and I must have done this, and maybe I need to be gentler, kinder, sweeter, more forgiving, more this, more that. And the thing is, you come in perfectly you. When you're at peace, when, like it was showing, life outside of you reaches up to meet the life inside of you, it becomes this beautiful sweet taste in your mouth, something that goes down easily. I mean, pineapple is one of those things that's very high in enzymes, and it helps things move down easily, and it breaks up any excess gunk along the way, moving it out of the way, saying, not in my space, not in my place. And I can tell you the beauty of making it through this, which I haven't looked ahead, but my prayer is that they bring us through this, is that you would never wish this on anybody else. And you're like the sweetness of that pineapple, clearing the gunk out of the way, being a clear channel, regardless of all this pressing in around you, because you just could not lie to yourself and say anymore. Now that you were down to almost nothing but that one speck in the center, like the never-ending story, that last grain of sand, the last grain of hope, you couldn't give it up to call yourself a liar and say, I did this wrong. Eventually, with that one grain of sand, you're fighting back and you're going, no, wait, hey, hold on just a second. This is going to be my mind, and I'm going to reclaim my authority and my power to decide what my world is about. That there are things interfering here and pressing in, and unseen forces that I didn't know about, nobody's taught me about, and I'm going to find out how to overcome them, what they're telling me, how to deal with this, and not just call everything the devil or a demon or a difficulty, but truly, because you've persevered, heavy on severe, right? Because you've persevered, you have the strength, the character, and the capacity to challenge this, to step into it, to like, they're going Zorro, to go toe to toe with this energy, not calling it dark or light, bad or good or whatever, because there's light that's bad, there's dark that's bad, and bad being destructive, disruptive, with no regard for life, no regard for progress or beauty or anything that is caring or tender. It's merciless, right? So it's not about, it's about bumping out some of that logic. Remember, some of this is logical, some of it is illogical, and that's the hard as F. It's like, how do I know the difference? How do I know? If that type of energy and those type of situations are able to break through and foil my efforts, then surely that means I can break through to that energy and foil its efforts. I can also then begin to break through my own energy and produce extraordinary outcomes and results. Things that go beyond my effort, because my heart, my belief, my connection is pure and true. Because of that sacrifice, because of that effort, staying that clear, open channel, so life can begin to express itself through you. And that leads to this next card. It's called the Opening. And it's coming in like this. Oh, okay. We'll find out more about that in the next channel too. Woohoo! All right. So this is receptive, intent, renewed, clarity, centered, light, merge, and radiate. So it's going to begin to allow the beauty of life to move through you as well. It's almost like as they began to move through your clear channel, meaning you have the purity of heart to finally not let these things jar you and jab in and penetrate you internally anymore. But there was plaque there was that old gunk there, that as it began to break off and move away and move through, that was some of the severity of what you were experiencing. That was some of the old energy inviting in past results. It was like they're saying that the evidence provided was there to convince you of your lowliness, of your no goodness, of your ineffectiveness, of your ill repute, any of those type of things. They're just like clamoring at the throat and clawing at me, just like digging and curling their fingers in this case, these roots. It's a shroud. It's made to hold you out of your own blessings, and it's surrounded by all these specters, these things that are really just like, they're wisping out your innocent beauty and the life force and trust that you have in life's goodness, life's wholeness, the wholeness. So life says, goes, stamp, I'm ready to send in proof. Ready to send in proof. As that plaque broke off and that pineapple energy began to move that stuff out of the way so the sweetness of life could come in, that butterfly energy, which is the sweet nectar of life, dining on it. And it's not based on your deeds or your efforts, remember? That's the beautiful thing. A butterfly delights and enjoys. All right. The things that they touch, other bees and other pollinators already do a more efficient job even so. So butterflies are here to inspire us, to stoke the imagination, to recreate and interject wonder. So this coming in, this card, it's coming in this way. It's like, fight that power. Fight that power. Rise up in your career. Rise up in your authority. Be receptive to life, giving you support. Now going, not only this one we can trust because you've done all the right things. It's that you didn't cave. And when it came down to the last straw, the last grain, you saw your worth and value. You saw the beauty of life. And you said, something is wrong with this picture. I'm going to change things here. I don't know what it is, and I don't know how to do it, but what I've been through is not right. What I've heard is not right. There's got to be more. Okay? Now, underneath, these two cards, they came out sideways, and they said, leave them like that. So we have this coming in. Okay? Now, this is the Ten of Wands. The burden is here, but you're laying down that burden, even if you have to lay yourself down with it. Remember? And that's hearkening back to the previous row. Very much what you're doing is allowing the regeneration to come. And I'm kind of hearing a passage of time to have occurred, like longer than you would have expected. And not even just the long of longs, literally getting down to that grain of sand, being receptive, being open, allowing the coal to be turned into the diamond, and still saying, why am I buried in this mountain? When is this mountain going to move? How am I going to know? When will I see the sun again? When will I feel the seasons move? When will life begin to feel different? I know I have this conviction, this confidence, this knowing, this self-assurance, but when will I see and taste the fruits of this? So here, the way this is looking, and you've been pierced, coming and going, deeply, deeply wounded, but you're still here and you're still alive. That's what's fascinating. Now, this is how they are. You're looking towards this energy, all right? And now this is what's coming in. So the Two of Cups is coming charge again, heading straight for you. Horses represent power. Can you see something here? Can you see that? Why this one wanted to come in sideways? They're heading up. They're going to like thrust off this intense pressure. It reminds me of the story, sorry, stuff flying around here. The story of the goat, that like this farmer got tired of the old tenacity of the goat and the goat having his way, so he began to dig a hole and he put that goat off in there, and he's like, that's where you're going to stay. See how you like that. Well, and so the farmer was going to start burying him. So, I mean, he's deep in a hole, almost like well deep, right? That deep in the earth, and the farmer throws off shovel of dirt, shovel of dirt, shovel of dirt. And he has his back turned, he's casting the dirt over like that. And what he doesn't know is each time that dirt is thrust upon that goat shakes it off, tramps it under his feet, and rises up over and over and over again, having to endure the dirt, the pressure, the degradation, the demeaning, the devaluing, the depreciation, all of that, and the misunderstanding, the grief, the heart. Oh, I'm feeling it. The deep sorrow, the not understanding, like you're shaking your head. It's because you couldn't understand. You couldn't imagine feeling that way about anyone else or wishing on anybody. And especially not believing for a life like that, right? That's the final answer. So anyways, eventually, that farmer thought he had that goat foiled and that he was going to be buried deep, right, and done with. And before he knows it, that goat ramps him in the rear, and he has finally made it up to the top. Just when the farmer thought he was done, that he was buried and dead and done with that thing, that goat rose up. That's the power and the tenacity that we have coming in here. And they're showing us dunamis power. You're not going to have to do it alone. You have a reproductive power. Your both parts of yourself, the two sides of the story, both your poles are being turned on. Okay. Both sides of your pole, standing on your own 2 feet, grounding energy, and that means there's a third energy. Okay, so they're saying, Joy, the horse, the third energy, because plugs that you put in the wall, I don't know how they are in other countries, but at least in America, the grounded plugs are the ones that have 3 prongs. They have those 2 flat ones, and then they have that round post coming in. This horse is like that grounding energy. It is thrusting you forward so that your connection, your charge can really rise up. And here, this water is like energy. It's electricity. Water is an amplifier of energy and electricity. So they're saying, hold on to those sorrows. Not the things that hurt you, but that tenderness, that penetration, that piercing in that place, that deep place. Love is coming. The full moon, all that you've been waiting for. The one who thought they had you. The one who was after you, that wanted your place, is being left behind. There's no room for shadows in this world, in your world. So the next channel is this. This is actually the final channel. And then we have a couple of accessory cards. So new winds, fresh new spirit. Life is moving you forward in a whole new direction. And it says February at the top, and that could be the month of love. That could be where we start shifting into the change in winds, the change in weather. blowing away the old leaves, the old connections, which is odd because that's usually in the fall. Oh, they're saying new love coming in, full force. But it's really going to cause you to blink and to look. You're not like you're going to be really looking hard for trouble and where is it? But you'll be like, huh? What? How could this be? You're almost like pinching yourself like, whoa, wow. Underneath comes reflection. Strangely enough, it was created this way, right? Well, so that mountain, remember the jewel, the diamond buried inside, it's been turned. It's now resting and receptive like you. The troubles, they're telling me, have been laid off. Any of you have been through COVID, right? Who are out of work? I'm a massage therapist, so there's no touching people right now, right? So that mountain has been moved. It's been laid on its side. It's been laid off. And there's the dividing line so that you can see yourself. You can see who you are and what you're made of. And they're telling me, be proud of that. Be proud of what you've come through. Be proud of the strength that you have, the richness of who you are, because minerals are in those mountains, right? The gold, the treasures, the things that people slave and work so much for are in those mountains, right? And for what? You are that mountain. You are your wealth, your riches, your resource. Let's see what's beneath it. In this rune card, it says, be prepared, satisfaction is coming. Now, mind you, the card goes this way, but here it is. Remember me telling you would see it in the next channel? Isn't that crazy? They both came out this way, and I didn't even notice, because these were my original rune cards, and they said, you need to go back and just make the symbol and listen to what we tell you that they are, not just what we've told others. And that's interesting that now this reflection, this regeneration of seeing yourself for who you really are, this is the message. You'll be put back on your feet again. Once you see yourself in your truth of how wealthy, how rich, how prosperous, how beautiful, how magnificent, how tenacious, strong, full of character you are. And not just like, oh, great, so good, and these warm fuzzies. No, knowing beyond all knowledge, it is something that is literally, it's moving energetically in your belly. It is steady. It is stable. It is connected. And they said, be prepared. Satisfaction is coming. Satisfaction has to do with plenty, right? Not about full. Full is full. That's not satisfaction. Satisfaction is this beautiful balance between those energies. And what energies? They're saying, look down below. I have another card coming in. It's the Seven of Cups. And it's coming in. Let's see. Hopefully y'all see it like I do. I don't know. Anyways, the scarab was on my right hand. Hopefully that's what y'all are seeing. But these energies, be prepared, satisfaction is coming. That balance of power between energies. Ancient and modern, tradition and progressive, male and female, strength and gentleness, exposure and covering, man-made and nature-made, strategy and surrender, confidence and growth. It's like rising up from the clouds, spreading your wings, exposing your soft parts to another person. I'm hearing choosing to let life choose. They're saying 4 hands are better than 2. Let's look at it this way for a moment. I can't get over the heart and the head of that scarab beetle. It's more like a June beetle in my eyes. And they're saying it got a woo woo. That's funny. Or he looks like he's hungover. He's been asleep. Like he's like, who raised me from the dirt? She's moving the energy. She's magician in this. Both the magic and the maker. So it's about being wonderful. Yeah, because my nose is itching like crazy. Wonderful and extraordinary. So although you have the magic that you're moving and you're making here, you see her extending her hand, creating this, the man-made and the nature, allowing the two to come together, allowing life to have its own expression through and in and with you, because that's why you are so rich and abundant and all that. When you allowed yourself to be stripped down, cleansed, cleared out completely, reduced down to nothing but a speck, the zero, the fool, but you became the fool of life. Because taken down to your purity, your essence, it's like almost like the egg and the sperm, that speck, that pinhead that initiated and created all of your life, that all the generations, all the divisions came forward through that, okay? That you made it, but there was something working with you. There's something looking at you, and that something is live. That's this energy, and we become receptive. We're more like the ones scratching our head going, how do we get here? Because all of a sudden, remember, it's going to be so good, you'll be blinking like, what? How did this happen? You know? And it's because life is in love with you, involved in this. A responsible party as well. Life saying, let me step up to the plate and be your answer. Interesting. So there was a mystery card that stayed upside down. I'm about to take a peek as to why. It is the Two of Swords. Whoa. I need a deep breath on that. Hang on, y'all. You're saying it's the magic wand of choice, of choosing. It's about chakra evolution is what they're saying. It's more than a tower. It's like a kundalini tower. That has to do with the surrender over here. You go beyond yourself. You've gone beyond yourself. This is like a reiteration of this, but here you can see the poles of it, the polarity of it. Remember, like this, the two standing on either side looking. Can y'all see that? This is wild. And remember how it was going to be turned and put back on your feet? It's telling me you're put back on your feet whole as one. Sorry, y'all, I'd be coming forward more, but they've really softened the throat. All that was going on, really intensely moving forward, is now subduing and subsiding, and they're like keeping me soft. The enthusiasm is here, but it's really a hush, an intense like hush of energy coming through. This is like this. This is like what you look like when you become whole. All of it, the wholeness coming together when life fills you and restores you. But you'll no longer just be hollow and empty. You'll be a pure channel, but you'll be filled, abiding. You'll be a pure channel of love. You'll be whole. Can you see that? Not just that speck inside that center, like the nucleus inside a cell. A whole living being. This whole divine energy. Oh, look. It's funny when it's upside down, you don't always see things the same. Look, that was a mountain we're talking about. Sorry. Forest for the trees. They take me in so deep I can only see it when they show it, right? See this reiteration of this peak experience coming forward? What must mean it's time for me to turn it right side up. Yeah, and you'll feel breath fill your lungs again. It'll be easy to breathe. It'll be easy to make it to the top of everything because you found a way how. Look at this. This biplane going on here. No, it's a monoplane. Coming along here, taking you up to the top where you used to have to take all the steps, all the days, all the ways, like a full month to achieve. You can do it in the blink of an eye. Whether this is friend or foe, it doesn't matter, because it's not about that anymore. It's about being able to be there in the blink of an eye. And what's that? That's your dreams. That's what you desire. That is, remember that effect. That's the banana muffins of you mix it, you set the timer for your 10 minutes or so, and then you enjoy it, right? How beautiful. I know how difficult it's been to live through that type of an experience. It seems like a lifetime delay, right? I would laugh sometimes when people want to talk about past lives, and not because they're silly or anything like that, nor the person is for knowing it, because yes, they exist, and yes, they're real for having it. It's just that in this one body, in this one skin, I've had multiple lives already. So I've already had many past lives in this one existence, which there are some of us, like when you talk about butterfly spirit, you do die over and over and over again, so much so that you begin to see that as all that you're here for. And life has to come and smack you upside the head and say, get moving, let's get going, come on, it's time to get over there and get past these hard as F times. You ready to see what all is coming here for? It's time to turn the page, to write a new chapter, and to move on in that story, to find out what the sweet side of life is about, how the butterfly spirit is coming along to help you, and you don't have to die anymore. You can come out this time. No more fear. No more fear. Or anticipation, or really it's that guarding reflex. Because yes, you've been whapped, right? But this time, it's like, wake up, sleepyhead. We've got some things to do. We've got something coming in for you. Look what we can do. You dream it, you desire it, you do it, zoom, and there you are. And you're like, remember how I said you'd be blinking, kind of like in February, the squinty eye, like, wait a second. Did I just imagine that? How did this happen? I just asked for it or believed in it, and poof, here it is 1 day later, 1 week later. Big, magnificent, or even tiny, infinitesimal things, whatever it is, your heart is being experienced over and over and over again. No more death. Just pure delight. Pure delight. Oh, and life is smiling. I can feel it. Life is like, oh, yes. Sorry it took this long to get it to you. And that's not me saying this. That's life saying it. But they had to teach you a few things. Not like lessons. Not like lessons. It was literally expanding and growing your mind, your container, your vessel. To be able to realize that there is a final resurrection. There is a final phoenix, y'all. Quetzalcoatl is all about that. That there comes a time that we graduate. And this is what they're ushering in. Except it's coming in like this. Okay? This Ace of Cups. You see how the two are one? Remember? Let's get this straight. Look. Here we go. And now we went in as this to become this peak experience, this mountain to come out like this. Wow. Oh, wait. Trying to get it back. Hang on. Okay. I'll just turn it on up. Moving on up like George and Wheezy. Woo! Okay, well, that just flew to your career, covered the intense pressure in the opening. This is the whole point all along. Life is beautiful. And we are free. And there comes a time that all those mountains move behind you. And they're relegated to the past. Because the richness, the treasure of who you are can go with you any and everywhere. The beauty of life abounds. You don't have to cover and hide from those you love or from life's experience, because the spirits have provide their own covering over you, their own divine guidance, this mirror. Look at that. So much better to have spirits surrounding you than clogging up the space between with different perspectives, different views, you know, creating that polarizing energy, that debate. Here it's the unification. I could go on to explain it, but y'all are brilliant. You have guides and spirits to help you how this moves through your energy. And remember, it's not so important as to what I say as it is to what you hear, what your heart hears, how it applies to your life, because you're the only one who knows what you've truly been going through and what this experience has felt like, okay? And where this love has trickled through to fill in the gaps, where this new life is blowing in and ushering you, okay? So, interesting. I'm very enthusiastic and excited about it, even though they have me all subdued for whatever reason. I'm glad they shook me and said, hey, Joy, get to these. Go find out what that disruption, what that shock wave was all about. What this turning of tides is bringing in. I love you, Joy to the world, friends, family. I'm glad to have you here. I hope this helps brighten your day and make your world better and bolder and more beautiful. Bye.